Good morning. It's not too loud. It's high plane time. I don't live too far. Well, I actually live a fair amount away from the airport. I don't live in Virginia. I live in the district. Um, but we're this is the flight path for National Airport or Reagan National Airport, DCA, and it's what 8 o'clock, almost 9. Actually, most of the planes have come, but anyway, never mind about that. I wanted to share this card with you. I don't feel like we're going to read this card today, but this theme, the dissolving light, this is a card from the Alana Fairchild deck with artwork by translations by Rassouli. This is artwork and Rumi poetry. The artist, I want to make sure I speak to this gentleman. The other artist, Rassouli. Yeah, Rassouli. Amazing artwork. This is an amazing deck. The It's an oracle card deck, but it absolutely is a deep dive into. It's a deeper dive than what we're going to do. We would do in these readings, but I would certainly bring these in if it was so called for in a private reading. Um, and then just a prayer that also caught my eye that I'd written down by Beth A Richardson from Walking in the Wilderness. Holy One, my body, soul, and spirit hunger and thirst for you. Here in this barren wilderness, fill me with your living water. Shape me into the one you would have me become. Amen. And I think that the energy right now that we're going through with Aries, I feel like it's almost as though there's so much fire that it's providing a huge contrast. And I think no matter what, we're going to choose to put the brakes on and do that noticing that came up and really get a very clear understanding about what we can take on and what we can't, and how where we've been taking things on in our relationships, in our situations, in our work, in our projects, the way we've been approaching our projects, things like that, the things that we love, hasn't been in balance, again, because there's no planets in Libra right now, hasn't been in balance, hasn't been serving the harmony and unity internally that we need on the individual level, and certainly, and therefore cannot serve the the situation, whatever that might be for you. So we have to dissolve. We have to let, right now, I feel like we're like some of that, the burnout. You might be feeling burnout right now. The burnout is real because it just isn't sustainable. So how can we, but is that a bad thing? By letting go and letting down a lot of what we've been carrying that isn't appropriate, you know, that came up in the reading yesterday. We can only be, that card, that star card. Oh, that's so funny. Look at this. I'm shuffling, and that star card, the Imana card that was in this deck last time, that came popping right out already. So the star card is here again today. And this star card, this is Aquarius. Aquarian energy is all about being authentic, being realistic about what we can possibly do. I brought up at the end of the reading about how oh golly, what was it? Oh, about how like I was getting this imagery of like I can only carry so much water, like realistically, or else it's going to splash everywhere. It's going to get me wet. And now I have extra work, so I've got to like go change my clothes, or I'm getting you all wet. Like it's going outside the bounds of what's truly available. So when we get very clear and we're very authentic, like somebody asked me to do something late last night as we went out to dinner, and then something needed to be done, and it would have been a helpful gesture for me to accommodate that request, but I really couldn't in that moment because I was tired and it was going to require more energy than I really had. So I just did a quick assessment, and like old me would have been like, oh, I can't do that right now. I gotta go. Okay, how does that serve the situation and the relationship and something I value? It doesn't. But I was honest about, I was authentic about, oh yeah, I see that where we can fix that. Can we do that tomorrow when I'm just a little tired right now? Is that, and really you know, it's all about the intention. And that's the other thing. What are the vibes behind how we're communicating? This is about communication on a very high level. This is, like I said, a card of Aquarius, like looking to the stars, like going for that higher vibe. That's what Aquarian energy is about. It's like the vibration. So it's not just the words I'm saying. Like I may be saying polite things, but if I have another thought process, guess what? Those vibes are coming. Hmm. And this goes to show, like, this burnout, like, we can't be at odds with ourselves, and we have to be willing to be empty, to maybe empty out my water jar entirely to get filled up with, and that's, the Ace of Cups also is at the bottom of the stack. I'm just going to pull that card. We have to be willing to be filled up by something else than what we've been kind of doing. I'm gonna give us a little more shuffle. So this is the Goddess. We're going back to the Goddess Tarot by Kris Waldherr. And I feel like we need that divine feminine energy. So this card of Inanna, I will repost the research I did on that goddess. She's a Sumerian goddess that was the inspiration for goddesses like Ishtar, Isis. So she's pretty ancient, and there's a wonderful mythology about how she and she came up during the time when the divine feminine was revered, and but she's actually the goddess of, like, she's actually a goddess of war. But she tipped too far into that masculine energy, which suppressed and misused it. Everyone thinks, oh, the divine feminine, it's so sweet. Not when it's manipulative and controlling. Used when it's inauthentic. Instead of being in this, like, open, talked with a friend on the phone the other day, and it was something that came up in a conversation with a different friend a few days earlier. We can be open, but that doesn't mean we're empty. Coming at situations empty is a different kind of being open. You're expecting something else to fill you that can't. So coming into situations, what actually is fulfilling? Getting very clear on that. In the light of this moon, this is a very brilliant moon. This is the full moon. A lot of what came up in the full moon a couple of weeks ago, we're getting ready to, we have a new moon happening. What might be coming illuminated for you now that kind of reverberates back to that full moon a couple of weeks ago? Like, beware, we're going to things that, like, we need to burn out those things, those ideas of what it is that's actually fulfilling, because we can't expect other situations to fill us entirely. Sure, we can participate and get fulfillment and work on projects, and it's the creative process. Like, you saw that happen yesterday, the creative process, being open to the divine, it's open to divinity, it's open to higher wisdom. You can only be open to higher wisdom if you're actually working within the boundaries of what you can do. And then you can figure out, if you're not over depleted, right? If you're not depleted, if you're full, then you're able to, come from a place of natural fulfillment. This is moon. This is natural fulfillment. This isn't like somebody coming and saying, hey, baby, I'll set you up. Coming from a place of what is naturally fulfilling. Then we're working with, when we're not depleted, we're able to hear the divine. We're able to be in wonder, to look up and around us and find those creative solutions that bring balance into the situations that we value. This is an energy about throwing things out. I think it's energy about starting things on a very, very new phase. It's a very transformative energy. I mean, some things maybe just can't sustain that for whatever reason, but to push for them to sustain that is also inappropriate use of energy. She went down into the netherworld, which was a dominion of her sister. And as she went, she had all her warrior garb on, and she had this kind of fake thing that she was going down to do, but really she was going to take her sister to task. But while she was down there, she ended up having to take everything off and ended up getting stripped down to the very basic. And the other gods weren't there to help her. She had to help herself out of that situation. She had to get very humble. We have to be humble about where we actually, what is our place in the universe. Because it's both special and not special at all. Aquarian energy is to be of service. Is to be of service. And we can only be in joyful service if we're not exhausted. If we're not, and we have to be, and knowing where you are requires the humility to set this down and say, I can't do this. That really pricks, I know that pricks my pride. That's an area I've been working on for some time. But what it is I can really do, what really is within the bounds. Sometimes the bounds, yeah, 9 of Swords. This can cause a kind of, this is 9 of Swords coming up. This is like, oh boy, I'm worried about all of these things. Worried about my place in this. This is the stuff that when we are out of bounds, we're getting up at 2 o'clock in the morning and we can't go back to sleep, and we are pacing, and we're not looking up. We're not looking up. We're not in a full place, right? But the energy that's on deck is going to invite some of this, because then what do I do? Then what do I do? I'm noticing that the symbol of Venus is in the middle of this chalice of the Ace of Cups. But it's about, what do I value? And this is a singular cup. This isn't about, this is about trusting. But I can't trust. Things look really bad. My thoughts are in a swirl. I feel like I want to act from this place. 9 is a number of action. But I feel like the contrast is here. Like, this is the time of prayer. This is the time of meditation. This is inviting surrender. This is surrender. No planning. We're going to want to plan our way and logic our way out of whatever situation it is that's coming up. But that's not, getting down to 0. The dissolving light. Getting down to 0, Tara. Beginnings. The only way to start over. And a 0 is a boundary. So I brought it up in yesterday's reading, and I touched on it not as specifically in the reading the day before. We have to be willing to we have to create boundaries with ourselves. When we're in this place, this is a place of, this is like thoughts running amok and running the show and giving us looks that are not accurate. This isn't the night. This person actually looks as though she's she's imagined herself to be completely abandoned in the middle of some weird desert by herself in her bed. Like, all of a sudden her bed has been transported to some super, super isolated place. surrender. And we have to put boundaries. We have to say, hey, listen, I'm in this place. Recognition, the recognition. I'm in this place. It's not a good place. That's okay that I am. And I need to open myself to something holding me that's bigger than me. I'm going to, actually not that one. I'm going to pull from the Butterfly Oracle cards for life changes. This is another Doreen Virtue Oracle card deck. So we're just going through some changes right now. But like I said, I feel like the contrast is just so stark. Like things can feel really stark. I feel like the contrast is so stark that we just know that we have to have new beginnings. Okay. Yeah, retirement. Retirement. So, and that makes us feel like, again, what am I going to do now? Like right now, it's bringing up stuff in me. This card indicates a change in your work schedule, most likely related to reducing your hours of employment. This may or may not be voluntary on your part. Retirement is a big change in your daily routine and your identity. Whether this transition is something you plan for or not, you'll now be focusing on how to spend your freed up hours as well as accompanying financial changes. You receive this card as acknowledgement of your shifting schedule and budget, and also as encouragement that with planning, self-honesty, and the input of experts such as financial advisors or counselors, you will enjoy a beautiful retirement. Additional meanings: the retirement of a parent or other loved one, a change of employment, an opportunity to pursue your dreams. So yeah, you can either be in this dream state, or you can be like, oh, well, things are ending. I've got new beginnings. I have new beginnings. I have opportunity to pursue the things that I really want to do. Making the best of your time, getting some rest, taking a meaningful vacation to a place you've always dreamed about. I know this reading is going to resonate with somebody who, so anyway, I don't stage any of this, none of this is scripted. It just comes up as it comes up. So, however it resonates with you, I look forward to hearing from your thoughts in the comments. That's another way interacting with the videos. It helps these get out to other people, and share this directly with somebody who you think might need to hear it. Wherever this is, Tuesday, April 14th. Whenever this message finds you, it's the right time. It'll be on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. So direct message me too on any of those platforms if you want a deeper dive, if you want to have your own private reading. I hope you have a great day.